everybody. Let me know how this sounds. Put in the chat if this sounds good, okay? Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, well, you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. I don't have a harmonica. I could use one of those. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pens, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. Don't speak for too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser now will later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be last. The present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing. The times are changing. Thank you all so very, very much. I pressed the wrong button. It's not the clap anymore. Oh no, what's the? Oh, I pressed the wrong buttons. This is now the applause. Thank you all so very, very much. Oh my God, let me post about this in Discord. That is the right button for everything now, isn't it? Oh my God. I should move my name down to here, shouldn't I? Yes, yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having fun. We're chatting and we're having fun. Lamp is the only viewer at the moment. I gotta post about this in the Discord, and it won't matter. No one will come. Just watch the fucking live stream. Will it fucking kill you to just watch it for 5 fucking seconds? God damn you pieces of human shit. Well, I can't curse. Well, by swearing already, I've now lost the audience that I had previously. So, you know, cool. Good stuff. We're all having fun. Oh, wait. We got Duke Vulture and we got Dougie Jones, baby. We got 3 people. That's all we need. They listened to it by swearing and demanding that they show up. They, in fact, did show up. It is always slow at first. You're totally right. And you know what? And I am shadow banned. And again, that is from sharing pornography of Shadow the Hedgehog. You're right. You're right. Who cares? Who cares about this silly nonsense about viewers? We're going to have fun for just you guys, okay? But first, let me post something here. Let me post in the Discord. Going live. Talking trash. Ooh, posting in a few different Discords. Those foods one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing. Do you know Bob Dylan, and this is actually true, Bob Dylan wrote that song about the Taco Bell menu. Because they were going to get rid of the volcano taco, which when I last checked, they refused to bring back. What? Oh no. Too loud. Too much noise. Too loud. God. Yeah, that's true. He's so cute with all that hair. Twitch can't keep up. You're dropping frames hard on Twitch. Am I dropping frames from everybody else? I have a little thing down here that says dropped frames, and it currently says 0 for me. CPU usage is only 11.7. Let's go to Twitch. Let's see what's happening on twitch.tv/me right now. We'll explore it together. Seems fine. Let's listen to it. Seems fine. Let's listen to it. Yeah, it's fine for me. I think you guys are the problem. Fine. Listen to it. Yeah, it's fine for me. I think you guys are the problem. Fine. Listen to it. Yeah, it's fine for me. I think you guys are the... No, I take it back. It is an issue. Yeah, it's fine for me. I think you guys are the... No, I take it back. It is an issue. What's going on YouTube.com? Let's check out YouTube.com. Is it dropping on YouTube.com as well? What's going on? I did the optimize for streaming thing. No, this seems fine. You guys are the problem. Fine. Listen to it. Yeah, it's fine for me. I think you guys are the problem. Fine. Not for me, poop and pee. That's fine. Yeah, you know, I think the issue is simply you guys aren't working hard enough, okay? You haven't gotten your money up, nor your funny up. Get it together, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's fine now, Duke Vulture. That's because of all the swearing. When I say enough profanity... All right, let me post this in one more Discord, then I'm going to talk to you guys, okay? Self-promotion right here. Now, talking my little bull. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing this stream for one reason and one reason only, okay? That is to get you to go see the new Naked Gun movie. Nobody's seen that, right? It's in theaters. It's making a little bit of money. Gambling debt, that is correct. You didn't know Neil Patrick Harris was in Starship Troopers? That's a good movie. The new Naked Gun movie. It is in theaters. It is very, very funny. Okay, I prepared to do this last week when people were talking about Naked Gun. Since then, Weapons has been released, and that's what everyone's talking about. And you know what? Weapons is really good, too. Check out Weapons. It's an awesome movie. Violence. How do you feel about violence and children doing Naruto runs? If that's your thing, Weapons is your movie. But The Naked Gun, it is out in theaters right now. We need to support this movie, because otherwise they will never make comedy again, and then truly the terrorists will have won. It's very, very funny. And if you've heard about this, you saw Weapons? Oh my God. Amy Madigan, who played Gladys. No spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. No spoilers, but give that woman an Oscar. She's amazing in the film Weapons, which I liked a lot. I'm a big fan of that. Let me adjust my camera so I'm a little bit less... Weapons is really, really good. So go see Weapons. Go to the movie theater, okay? We used to be a proper country. Back in the 90s, people just went to the movies. It's like, it's a Saturday. I'm just going to go see whatever's out. Lightning Jack, the new Paul Hogan movie. You're not going to get... First off, I was about to say something that might have gotten me actually shadow banned, and I don't want to say that. Here's the deal, all right? COVID is extremely real. It's very, very real. And that's why you need to get every possible vaccine, not just the COVID vaccine. You need to walk to a doctor's office and say, I need all the vaccines. Whatever it is, squirt it in my mouth because I am terrified of needles. And then you need to wear multiple masks. And I think, and I'm not, you say this? Well, I mean, last time you went anywhere for more than an hour, you got COVID. So, well, that's a small sample size. You know, you won't get COVID, and I'll tell you why. Because scientifically speaking, weapons is very funny. I laughed a lot. That artificial butter they put on popcorn kills COVID-19. Is that going to get me shadow banned for saying that? Am I going to get in trouble for that? God, I sure hope not. Naked Gun, very funny. I'd love to do a whole stream just quoting lines from the Naked Gun. Or then don't go to a movie theater. Fine. No one goes anywhere. They're all shutting down. No one goes anywhere or says anything. Everyone's like, wow, people sure seemed happier in the 90s. That's a big thing. Or people will say like, oh man, we're born in the worst generation. Everything was so great back in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. And there's a couple aspects, which is, first off, plenty of people were miserable as shit back then. Okay? The same way everyone's like, oh man, I can't afford a house. Back in the day, everyone had a house. Go back to the 1950s. Not everybody had a house. Plenty of people lived in shacks, okay? And not just the blacks, although the Blacks in the Shacks was a very popular radio program on the Colgate Comedy Hour. Yes, just go see it. Is Weapons, it was very funny, but it's directed by Zach Kreger of Whitest Kids You Know. They were happy stealing pies off windowsills, having all their belongings in a bindle that they carried along. It was a very exciting time. So on one hand, whenever people sort of romanticize the past, I think they are largely stupid and don't know how miserable some people were. But to the degree that there is a lack of social cohesion, everything just comes back to DoorDash being bad. All of our problems in society could be solved if we were to, in fact, nuke the DoorDash headquarters from space, which secular humanist YouTube lawyers I'm not technically recommending. But back in the day, if you wanted to go get food and it wasn't pizza or sometimes Chinese food, you had to walk to a place. You also had to cook food so you didn't smell so much Black and Shacks. Remember when Papa John's did the Shackaroni pizza? Zach Kreger, one of the members of Whitest Kids You Know, wrote and directed the film Weapons. Yes. So, I don't know, torrent a copy of it that someone shot on a handy cam in a theater. But people spend too much money on nonsense, and yet they never leave the house. It's the worst of both possible worlds. People are like, nah, I'll just wait for it to be on streaming. And then they're like, how come they don't make anything good? Shaq was in so many commercials. The other day I was reading about the film Trance, one of Danny Boyle, a great director, one of his least known and liked movies. But it has Rosario Dawson, who does at one point in the movie show her vagina. I know what you might be thinking. No, she showed her vulva. Wrong. She takes a camera and puts it, she shows the entire reproduction. No. She's just walking naked down a hallway at one point. I was reading an interview with her where she was like, the general was angry. When I had to wax it, the general was angry. And it turns out she calls her vagina the general. Yeah, which is largely because it spends so much time with Shaq, I would presume. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is true. Back in the day, we didn't have the internet as it sort of is now. Like, we've had something that could be called the internet since, like, I mean, it depends on how generous you want to be with the term, but really since, like, World War II. But in terms of the internet now, where you can send a picture of your penis to a current star of a Disney Channel program, we've only had that recently. And so before, people just had to have their own memes. You would just create memes. You would just say, like, which is what all racial slurs were. They were just the memes of their day. You would just be like, hey, check out this meme I found. That was how that would work back in the day. Listen, at one point in the new Naked Gun movie, Liam Neeson describing Pamela Anderson goes, she had a behind that would make any toilet beg for the brown. And that was great. I call mine the Octagon. Just saying. I call mine Charles Entertainment Cheese. That's the name I have for my penis. And balls. Also balls. Okay? Get it together. We've got exciting news today, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you saw this, but according to the White House, whitehouse.gov, not .com, that'll get you to a naughty website, whitehouse.gov, they have announced that if you register as a Republican in a battleground state, you are legally entitled to have sex with Sydney Sweeney one time. So that's pretty cool. Yo, Sydney Sweeney, your pussy about to get. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Sydney Sweeney. You do have to register to vote Republican. All right? You don't have to actually do it. They can't prove that. As long as you register, Sydney Sweeney will come over and have sex with you. And also, she won't become, you got to go to her. And it's not going to be full. It depends on what mood she's in, et cetera, et cetera. There's all sorts of different conditions. You might just have to jack off, look at her butthole. But, you know, I've heard the Hawk Tuah girl is joining the administration. That is accurate. She's actually a Supreme Court justice now, the Hawk Tuah girl. We got to talk about Sydney Sweeney, ladies and gentlemen. It was a big news a week ago. Now it's Monday. That's all true. We got to talk about it. And this amazing tweet that Donald Trump posted, a matter of fact, last week. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are, quote, flying off the shelves. Big thing. There we go. We are winning the culture war, let the record state. The left doesn't know what hit him. An underrated aspect of Trump tweeting is that he'll put things in quote for some reason. Jeans are, quote, flying off the shelves. Are they not even on sale yet? I didn't even know that. That rocks. How much does it cost for a pair of American Eagle jeans? I get a pair of like Levi jeans and they're like $40. And I'm like, this is highway robbery. I can go to Farm and Fleet where, you know, their celebrity spokesperson was John Ratzenberger, but he was doing the same. Go get him, Sydney. Spelled her name wrong. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement that is a disaster. What's interesting is no actual human beings have heard about this Jaguar ad that the right wing keeps mentioning. They keep all the time saying, look at this Jaguar ad where there was like a they, them on camera or something. It's very, very silly. Sydney the Sloth, absolutely. It's not a real thing. Like no humans care. It's silly bullshit nonsense. But it makes you wonder, is the snake eating its tail at this point? Is it that these people are talking about Jaguar because Donald Trump said it? No. Like last time I did this, I did the segment on Michael Knowles where he was talking about it. Matt Walsh talked about it. Tim Pool, all these losers talked about it. And so now Donald Trump is mentioning it and then they'll talk about it again. It's this Ouroboros kind of situation where he consumes nothing but right-wing rage slop. And then he also is the one producing the right-wing rage slop. It's very, very weird. It's like if Steven Spielberg only saw Steven Spielberg movies. Adjust this a little bit. There we go. That is a disaster. The CEO just resigned. The company is in turmoil. Is that true? Did the CEO of Jaguar resign? Let me look at it. CEO of Jaguar resign. So apparently he did, according to this article, August 1st he did. We're not doing kayfabe. We're all doing kayfabe to various degrees. You know, we're all pretending to be someone else. The company is in turmoil. Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from, you're a terrible person and you need Jesus. Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light, which went woke? But I like here he just capitalized woke and didn't make it all capitals. Interesting guy. And essentially destroyed in a short but very woke campaign, the company. Now, do you remember the Bud Light thing? Where, what had this been, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now? They did one 5-second TikTok video where a trans woman was like, I'm the most annoying person ever and I enjoy dog shit beer. Glug, glug, glug. And that was it. And all the Republicans were like, well, there's, going to be a race war. The person's not even a different race. They're just trans. I believe I said race war. So there's going to be one. And I'm Kid Rock. And to show my anger over this 15-second TikTok, I will be firing guns at a pallet of Bud Light that I purchased for some reason. In a short but very woke campaign, the company, sure. The market cap destruction has been unprecedented. Billions of dollars lost. What? And then, or just look at a few months later, he's like, oh, it's all cool now. Forget what I said. Kid Rock. Yeah, I think, well, Kid Rock, was it Joe Rogan or something like that? He did an interview where he said, so, I was at one of my rich guy parties where I don't talk like this, and I talk in my actual voice. Hello there. Yes, I'm from Detroit. I'm from a very wealthy suburb, and my father owned a car dealership. Yes, that's my name, Kenneth Rock. Thank you. He was telling Joe Rogan, I was at some party, and I saw the CEO of Bud Light, and I sat him down. The way he framed it, in my head, I just imagined him like pulling a chair backwards and being like, we're going to sit down and rap with the kids and tell them how to live. And just chatted with him and said, listen, you guys know you messed up, right? And he admitted that he messed up. I was like, what? I think most people on the right wing, maybe most people in general, just legitimately think that there was an ad campaign involving this Dylan Mulvaney, who, again, I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to live as she sells seashells down by the seashore. She so sees fit. She's very irritating. I simply must admit that. And the beer sucks. So when I was in a grocery store throwing it against the wall and screaming about the Jews, I was doing it for the right reasons. Let the record state. Yeah, they sent her one can with her face on it. There was not an ad campaign. They probably paid her a little bit or something. No humans would have seen this, but this is how the right wing is so good at this, is creating nonsense, because what they fundamentally understand, and this is the biggest failing of the Democratic Party, they have not capitalized on this. What humans fundamentally want now, that we've completely removed the notion of politics ever helping anyone. No one in America has a thought like, okay, if I vote for this person, my life can get better. The only thing people want is to scream at people they find annoying. That's the only thing that politics can deliver unto you now, is other people to scream with. So the Democrats haven't capitalized on that, but they could. They could. Wine moms are screaming every day. Go to any suburb and just ask any wine mom how they feel about Donald Trump, and they will just crush the wine glass in their hand. Blood will spurt everywhere, and they will scream as if they were giving childbirth, something they have never done conscious. So they're not real women. We need to amp up this anger. Anyway, at the end, he starts talking about Taylor Swift for some reason, or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was saying on Truth, that I can't stand her. And I guess that's the end of it. No, this has to be, it says the big 6 retruths and 9 likes, and now I'm wondering if this was fake. No, this was real. I saw people actually talking about it. I like when Donald Trump, he just tweeted, I hate Taylor Swift. Unironically, a better political message than anything the Democrats have ever done. Hakeem Jeffries is just like, well, I think Donald Trump is being very rude, and I'm going to No. Kamala Harris needed to get up on the debate stage and say, Donald Trump, I've heard your dick sucks. I've heard you have one of the worst dicks on earth. It's crazy. That is true that Democrats hate commies. And to be fair, if you've ever interacted with a communist online, you'll discover why. They are very annoying, but they're right about a lot of stuff, crazy about a lot of other stuff, because that's the other thing, that the fundamental problem is that the Republicans are good. Okay, those are just LARPers. Okay, as opposed to the actual revolutionaries out there, sure. I'm going to be very dismissive of anyone on the left. That's my thing, and I've decided, and I will be doing it. Here's politics, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to break it down for you. The issue is that people on the far left, they actually want things that most Democrats don't want. Not exclusively. There's a lot of things. You talk about universal health care. You talk about, a more robust social safety net. Totally get it. But especially the far social stuff where it's like, we need to abolish gender completely. That's not a mainstream position. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong necessarily. I don't have any actual political opinions. Don't shut up. I agree to have a general strike. I have a general strike every day when I wake up, jack off, and then don't buy anything because I'm broke. But as I was saying, there are these far left positions. And again, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. There are very far left positions I agree with. Very far left positions I see the advantages of. You will destroy gender. That's what I put on my Tinder profile. Come over, I will destroy your gender. But the average Democrat is pretty middle of the road. And if you describe to them what radical communist activists in Portland want, the gender stuff is liberal crap. But this is the point. Everyone keeps fighting where it's like the gender stuff is for liberals and the communists are like, no, we need to do this. And the liberals are like, no, we need to do this. Meanwhile, the furthest right-wing Republicans, like those guys Mehdi Hassan debated, who are like, oh, my main thing is I would like to liquidate all brown people. The average Republican agrees with that. The average Republican is like, that'd be great. Yeah, we need to put them all in camps. I find them very annoying. So it's much easier to rein in the radicals. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. I don't really have a point to any of this. Trump's not as funny anymore, though, right? We agree. Trump is kind of, I don't know. It's okay. Thank you for saying it's okay. Trump, that was pretty funny. There was a lot of funny stuff in there, but he definitely has more dementia now than even Joe Biden did. Joe Biden, his brain sucked. People can say dementia. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but clearly if you saw Joe Biden in the debate or, any moment he was on television prior to that, he was not a well man. But I think even Donald Trump has eclipsed that now. It's amazing. Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, by the way. They figured that out. They looked up. You can just find out anyone's registration. She had to register to be a Republican in Florida in 2024. That is true. It is pathetic vibe. It is very cringe. It is very like Scott's Tots. That's the thing where they just make this old senile man come out and do a little dance and he's just confused about what's happening all the time. And it's not good. So Sydney Sweeney registered in 2024 to vote for Trump. Like she is MAGA probably. Sydney Sweeney probably thinks about politics at about the level of an average Republican, which is not really much at all, but she probably just has a general, I don't know. I was about to say she has a general anger. No, she's a get the bag Republican. She'll fucking endorse anything. Do an American Eagle, Dunkin' Donuts. I gave her $20 and she let me fuck her. Turns out that wasn't Sydney Sweeney. It was Sydney Greenstreet. Who cares? I don't give a shit that someone's a registered Republican. Who gives a fuck? I mean, like, it is always about the bag or the queers. You're absolutely correct. It's either about, and the queers sort of, by the way, to them, Asians are queers. Let me just sum all that up for you guys. It's all the same thing for them, okay? It's about getting the money or liquidating the undesirables. That's all it really, really is there. Did you guys ever watch Euphoria? I never did. Seemed very dull. But I don't think anyone was actually mad at this commercial. Usually whenever there's some nonsense that's like, whatever, there's not enough black people in the new Marvel movie or some stupid nonsense. Yeah, the problem with Euphoria is the concept made me angry. I heard about it. It was like, it's about a bunch of teenagers doing drugs and having sex. And I'm like, I never did any of that. God, I hate you people. But the thing is, usually whenever there's, not enough, the girl Ghostbusters movie hasn't made enough money or whatever stupid nonsense you're doing. Whenever that's the case, they can usually find like one or two tweets from someone who's being stupid. I have not even seen that with the Sydney Sweeney thing. It's literally just them making it up. You'll see a post and someone will go, oh man, look at how cool this ad is. This is real American justice or something. I don't know. And then they'll be like, oh, and the liberals are so mad at it. And it's like, do you have an example of that? You have an example of it? I'm sure there's at least one person on Blue Sky going like, jacking off to Sydney Sweeney is a sign of white supremacy. Stop doing literal violence to melanated voices. I don't see any of that. I don't know. It's interesting. The culture war thing is just weird. The libs are all defeated now. They're just kind of at home drinking tea going, oh, I just hope it ends soon. What, the Trump presidency or like everything? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. They weren't doing a winky wink. They are drinking tea like Kermit the Frog. I don't know. I saw the commercial and it's like jeans, da 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 da. That it's entirely possible American Eagle was like, it seemed to me, it's entirely possible they were, 1488. How employers can pay you an emotional salary. That's a great question. We literally talk about eye color. So there was one person offended by it, and it was Lamp. She was the one who was mad about it. Is it? I'm just not attuned to these things. I heard somewhere that they put a tweet out that had 14 words in it. It had 88 characters. Really? But like, what's the deal with that? Let me look that up. I'll go to the browser here. American Eagle tweet 14 words. Fully leaning into the dog whistles now. This is on Hassan Piker, which is a really cool chill subreddit full of people who are smart. Her jeans, her story. There's rubbing her jeans, her story. HH. Fair. 14 words. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence their way. I find it a little tough to say conclusively that that's a dog whistle. It might be, though. So what if it is? Who cares? How much do American Eagle jeans even cost? Let's go to it. American Eagle jeans. How much do I got to pay? Ooh, 50, 70% off clearance. All right, not a bad deal. Shop men's. Let's see. I wear in pants a size 36-32 due to being very, very tall and mildly fat. Shop all clearance. Okay. Where are the jeans that Sydney Sweeney wore without underwear? Oh, yeah, she was selling her bathwater at one point. Get that bag, girl. Get that bag, girl. Coincidences do exist. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if American Eagle were like, well, it's cool to like be a Nazi now. We sure would like to sell more jeans. People don't have ideology. No one cares about anything, really. Pretty much anyone on earth would be willing to do the Holocaust for a six-figure job. Be like, I just need full benefits. I will do the Holocaust. Holocaust? She did, but the whole thing about her bathwater was she did this commercial where for Dr. Squatch's soap, which is a terrible name for a soap. And in the commercial, she was in a bathtub, and consequently everyone on the internet was like, I will never stop coming to this. I will fucking conquer Constantinople in order to have her. People are not just horny, they are violently horny for this woman. And if I was a younger man, I'd probably get it. You get old, your testosterone drops. The thing about Sydney Sweeney, if you're that horny, she's taking her boobs out. I think it was on Euphoria, which again, I haven't seen. I've just seen some GIFs from it. Okay? If you want to jack off to Sydney Sweeney, you can do it. You do not need to post about it. Just do it. Okay? And it would be better if instead of being like, we need to elevate Sydney Sweeney or else the white race is dying, it would be better if you were like, I just kind of want to come. I just kind of want to bust. That's all I really care about. Yeah. So anyway, she did this commercial where she did the bathwater, and then they released a soap this year. The other commercial was like a year ago. And they're saying that each bar of soap contains a small amount of her bathwater. But it reminds me of when in the 70s, Kiss, the rock and roll band, they had a comic book that they claimed was printed with part of their blood, where they literally like would cut their, they didn't cut their hand. It wasn't like a fucking, weapons thing, but they got like a little bit of blood drawn, and then it was put in the ink, but it was like one vial of blood from each member for like, 50, 100 gallons of ink. Ooh, we received 100 messages today with Restream. She should have just spit on napkins, $1,000 each. The point is there wasn't a lot of her bathwater in there. Here's what I wonder, because you hear tale about like sultans and stuff with a lot of money. Like I heard I don't know where I hear these urban legends. They're probably not true. I'm not saying this is accurate, but I heard back in the day, like, if you paid $1 million, you could have sex with Lindsay Lohan. You could just fuck her. And now you could do it probably for way less. This is accurate. So, like, whatever, Mohammed bin Salman, he's just like dropping $100 to have sex with Sydney Sweeney. $100. What if she's like, no one's asked me. It's just $100 to have sex with me. I would pay that. I don't have that much money, but, I will say I do have $100. So, Sydney Sweeney going wild out there. We're going wild in the chat. We've got some new people. Gamer JM. I don't think I've ever seen you before, but good to see ya. Good to talk to everyone. I got some more videos I want to watch with you guys. Chat with y'all. Looking at some stuff on my phone right now, which is great content. Oh my God. What? People are so dumb. Laughed and then cried. I got propositioned as a prostitute the other day for $30. Yeah, that's my question. You go, $30 is not that much. But I wonder, because if you got a cost-conscious consumer, say that 3 times fast, $30 is obviously too little for fully having sex with you, even for like a blowjob. What if they were like, you keep your clothes on, you can play with your phone, you just have to sit in the passenger seat of the car while I jack off on the driver's seat. If any gets on you, then it's $100. You should be getting paid by your gluten-free. Every time I see GF, I think gluten-free. I'm like, why does everyone want a big titty goth gluten-free? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, he thought you was from there. Yeah, $30 does seem like insulting. That's terrible. But again, if it was just like jacking off and you keep your clothes on, what would you say is even for a straight up crack whore, and no disrespect to any sex workers or any crack sex workers. Sorry, not crack whore, crack sex worker. My bad. You're right. That's his opening bid. Raise it up a little bit. Okay. Here's what I want you to think right now, Lamp. You turned down $30 to have sex with this guy. Think of how much terrible, disappointing sex you've had for free. Oh, you posted on Nextdoor like a proper Karen. Cool. As soon as I'm elected president, which is going to happen, I think I'm going to be the 2028 front runner for, the Mises caucus. I'm going to make Nextdoor illegal. I'm going to make all those bullshit websites illegal, and I'm going to make it illegal to report on true crime. I think that's one of the biggest impetuses. Nice ass car and nice clothes. Is he still offering, by the way? That's a great point. There should be a referee. We need to get the ref, and by that I mean Dennis Leary. No, we need to get someone in the white checkered shirt to show up and assign points. So at the end, they're like, all right, Dougie Jones, you owe her $40, but she owes you $60. So 20, and we call it a day. POS, you say, I'm just saying, $30, nice ass car, nice clothes. But it also makes you think if he's going off for the homeless shelter, he might have just killed you, So that's bad. That's bad to kill people. It's probably not good to, I was about to say it's not good to pay homeless people to have sex with them. That's just the free market, baby. There's worse things to do. I don't know. I'm gonna save my moral judgment. That's not cool that he started tailing you. That being said, do you have his number still? I could use $30. And I don't think he could kill me. I'm glad you're okay. I wish you were dead. Just kidding. That wasn't funny. But they're laughing and clapping, so it can't be that bad, right? Can't be that bad. Israel has a right to defend itself. Just kidding. Does it? Does it not? Oh, my God. Well, he doesn't know that I live where I live, obviously, and I saw him park next to the shelter yesterday. So this is a regular thing that he does. Yeah, if I ran that homeless shelter, I go out there and I go, how dare you? You need to stop offering these homeless women money for sex and offer it to me instead. They've got a place to sleep tonight. I got to pay rent. Okay? What's your issue here, buddy? Speaking, ladies and gentlemen, Speaking of terrible human beings who hopefully will someday burn in hell, Tim Pool. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Tim Pool. For many years, I played a character, Steve Von Gino, largely modeled after Tim Pool. There was a lot of Steven Crowder in there as well. And then as it evolved, it just became its own kind of weird little thing. But Tim Pool, still around. A lot of people don't know that. We are getting very meta right now. We're in a way getting the opposite of meta in that what would be? Meta would be if Steve talked about me. Me talking about Steve is just schizophrenia. His comments are truly insane. You can feel free to call me Steve whenever you like. So, Tim Pool still exists, for better or for worse. Still doing his thing, posting lots of incredibly low effort content. In a way, Tim Pool is both the most and least lazy of all these right-wing grifters because he produces the most stuff, but he puts the least amount of work into it, which honestly, I respect. There you go. He will just come out and post 3 or 4 videos a day, do his Culture War podcast, do his Timcast IRL live stream every single night. Like literally every day he's producing like 5 or 6 hours of content, if not more. But it's all just him like reading an article, not fully understanding it, and then just kind of riffing on why it means the Republicans are good and you should vote for them. Like, let me do a little Tim Pool right here, okay? You go to CNN.com. So first thing he'd go CNN, disgusting, mainstream news. They don't know anything that they're talking about. They're lying to you, so you know you got to be lying. Will he say he's an independent? He'll go back and forth. Thing about Tim Pool is any one thing he'll say, he'll disagree with it the next thing he says. So he'll just read this article. DC mayor and police weren't aware of Trump's plans for federal control. Then he'll go, look at this. Trump also announced he's deploying the National Guard to address crime despite lower rates this year. The rates are lower, and they won't say that it was actually Donald Trump who did it. So that's actually really good. Disgusting mainstream media. And, you know, he'll just read the article for the first time, just kind of riff on it, ignore themes, using big balls as an excuse. Is that big balls is the Doge guy that Elon put or something? I don't know. But Tim Pool was caught. If you guys aren't familiar, and I'm sure you all are, he's a bold, truth-telling, independent journalist. He did get beat up by teenagers. So he's a big dork who did like Occupy Wall Street and had a job for a while live streaming stuff for Fusion and Vice. And then he got fired from them due to not being very good and also being afraid to leave his hotel room everywhere they sent him. They'd send him out to places like, you know, Syria or some shit. And he'd be like, all right, so what if the story is about how I'm in my hotel room this whole time? What if in fact you sent me to Ferguson, Missouri, and then he did finally leave. He did, absolutely. He finally left. He went to Ferguson after the Michael Brown riots, the uprising where we showed him. But he went to Ferguson and he did finally leave his hotel room to interview the family of Michael Brown, I think it was, or the family of some victim. And so he just showed up to their residential house like in a flak jacket and a helmet. And they were like, we're not going to shoot you here. And he clearly was like, I'm in a war zone right now. So he's a very sad dork, and we hate him. We don't like him. He got fired by both of these companies, Fusion and Vice, and he goes, well, it turns out I, in fact, hate the mainstream media because they fired me, because they're lying, that I'm not great. You know, that's kind of his whole bag. But I want to watch this video because he recently was talking about South Park, ladies and gentlemen. Swedish trip was epic. He did that. That was where Paul Joseph Watson, okay? You familiar with this guy? Paul Joseph Watson. Yeah, we'll get to you in a second, Tim. Paul Joseph Watson, a guy who has an annoying voice for a British person. If you were to ask someone to do an impression of an annoying British guy, they would just do Paul Joseph Watson. Is it seriously you're thinking the regressive left? The regressive left is actually not regressive. I'm Paul Joseph Watson, and he was a reporter on, God, he was so annoying. He, again, even other British people were like, this guy over here is a bit of a wanker. We got a bit of a wanker problem over here, eh? And I can't take it. Oi, 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 over here. With the ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So Paul Joseph Watson said, you know, whatever, I'll give $30,000 that I'm sure he had and would have paid to whoever will go over to Sweden and do a story. Because Donald Trump had said there were migrant gangs who were like just, you know, playing the knockout game and whatever, pirating DVDs. Who knows what the hell he was talking about. And so Paul Joseph Watson said he'd give $30,000. Tim Pool agreed. He went over to Sweden and did this documentary about what he would call no-go zones, which aren't a thing. And then he was in a mall and he would just walk up to random brown people and just go like, would you like to be interviewed for this? And a lot of them said, no, I don't want to talk to you, you weird little goblin. And so he claimed that he was going to be killed by them and the police told him to leave, when in fact, the people were like, just don't fucking interview us, you goddamn loser. Tim Pool sucks. And a couple years back now, I guess this was last year, he was caught receiving millions of dollars from the Russian government to produce his show, The Culture War, which no one watched. And he denies it now. As soon as it happened, he'd come out and say like, yeah, you know, I'm the victim of this. They all had him, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, all these people. He did bank on no one speaking Swedish, which is actually true. Swedish is not a real language. No one's like, you know, when the Swedish chef goes, Gurgen, Flurgen, Blurgen, that's as real as anything else. No, he was caught taking millions of dollars from Russia to produce his nonsense show. At the time, he claimed, well, I didn't know it was from Russia. It's like, would you like to donate it? Sure. I'll buy another skate park that I can kick all the children out of. Consequently, he denies it now, but his views have really kind of taken a wash. Okay? He's not doing outstanding. And I wanted to watch this recently with him talking about South Park. South Park has gone hard into making fun of Donald Trump lately. And I think that actually is very meaningful. They're not political normally. They're just edgelords. They hate being scolded for whatever. And I think the South Park mocking of Donald Trump is more significant than anything else we've seen that's anti-Trump, because I think it will actually reach people who could be swayed. The way Donald Trump won in 2024, I think, there wasn't just one way, but a couple things. But a big thing was people like Joe Rogan, and another reason Tim Pool's kind of dropped off is just, you know, the right-wing media machine runs fast and consumes a lot. And Joe Rogan had an actual show business career, so he outranked Tim like crazy. Tim wanted to be. Tim was, and I've actually never seen this, but I should pull it up. Tim moved to LA after he dropped out of the 8th grade, and he's from Chicago, where I'm from. And I've met one or two people who claim, they might be completely wrong, but they claim they like knew him when he was growing up and he's a liar and was not from like the streets or anything like that. I can't verify that. I don't know. But the point is, Tim, when he dropped out of middle school, moved to LA to try to be an actor, absolutely, utterly failed to do so. Although apparently he was in one episode of that show, 1,000 Ways to Die. Like, you know, whatever. This guy tripped and his dick got caught in a lawnmower. And it's just Tim Pool apparently wearing the beanie in like 2003. It's going like, I don't know. I haven't seen it. But Joe Rogan had an actual show business career. He didn't seem to be on this, you know, it's the exact reason why Tim Pool will always claim, well, I'm independent, I'm not right wing. Is because right-wing politics are so fucking odious to so many people, especially to women, that young men don't want to be associated with him. That's changing. That's slowly changing as we progress, but it's still a lot of it, you know? So here's him talking about South Park. Massive major cope. Let's watch it.
Creators scored $1.5 billion in a deal with Paramount. And the latest episode that came out and is trending is about Donald Trump, to which Newsweek says South Park eviscerates Donald Trump after Paramount gives them $1.5 billion.
This is what I was talking about. Now, first off, I'm sure you can find many videos of him just going like, so Newsweek is fake news. They're going to trans all your kids and turn all your white kids into black trans women or whatever. It's nonsense. But he'll just read it. He's not seen this article before. He doesn't care. He just woke up and he's already getting the bag.
And it was terrible. I watched the episode. It is a miserably bad episode. Guys, holy crap.
I also like that he won't swear because then he'll get demonetized. That's a whole thing with all these guys. Like PBD, who we'll talk about afterwards, they won't curse on their shows. So they have to say like, I am fed up with this crap. All of this garbage. It is very funny. I did not watch the South Park episode, but the bits that I saw were funny just because you know it will actually make Donald Trump upset.
The jokes are 10 years old. I'm not kidding. I like South Park. They did fantastic when they were making fun of wokeness, PC principle. The problem with even how they mocked wokeness, however, was that it's just straight on the nose saying, hey, remember thing? So they got this latest episode where Donald Trump is the president and
that unfortunately was not just in the episode. He is also the president in reality.
Joke is basically that he's fat, has a tiny wiener.
Yeah.
That's it. They don't actually get into anything. I got to be honest, guys. If you've been following South Park, I mean, this show's been on my whole life. It's kind of weird. They had that episode.
So it has not been on his whole life. It started in the 1990s, the late 1990s. He's got to be honest. I love that when someone just goes, I got to be honest with you, which is a way of killing time. Tim Pool has a talent. He does have an actual talent, which is bullshit. He is good at being a bullshitter. So you put him in front of a microphone and he will just start talking, start reading stuff, start filling time. It's not like funny or interesting. He's not particularly like handsome or engaging or charismatic, but he will talk. And every so often he'll say something that will get a right winger appropriately angry, horny, or sad.
Where Stan, one of the characters' parents, are going to get divorced. And it was
this is his good bit when he goes, all right, listen, I got to get this to close to 20 minutes so I can get the ads in there. What if I just describe episodes of South Park? All right, so there's this one where the aliens come and they get Cartman and they put something up his butt and they do that. How much time do I got? Oh, phooey fiddlesticks. I got to keep going.
So I guess it was like a facsimile of the debate between Matt and Trey over whether they wanted to continue doing South Park. And it was very obvious they did not. But it's a strong IP that makes money. So they decided to keep doing it anyway. And that's just, it feels like the horse is dead. It's beaten to death. And now you're just dragging it down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So they came back with these specials. Some of them were really weird. Like a decade after Occupy Wall Street, they did an Occupy Wall Street episode. It was like, guys, are you out of ideas? And now they're doing.
The important thing is they need to hire Tim Pool for their writer's room. Talking about South Park or his own show. Yeah, no kidding. He accidentally watched his own show and didn't know.
Doing this. And let me tell you, guys, Donald Trump is Saddam Hussein. Not funny. They're not playing at Trump. This is what the left does, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
yes, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, notorious for being on the left. They've consistently been accused of being too far left.
It's funny because I don't know if you could include Matt and Trey as in like the left, but I would assume.
Okay, well now you're destroying the point I just made, Timothy.
Assume that they're gonna fall in the default liberal position, meaning
I don't know why you would think that. It's not true.
Is an easy target, and they decided to go after it. Some of it was really good. Some of it was a little too on the nose, right? But it's like, okay, at least there's institutions coming out against it. The problem. So
we are 2 minutes into this video, and he has said nothing. Nothing has. All he has said this whole time. I don't know what you're typing right there. Famously against the Iraq War. Yes. No. You've almost got it. Anyway, it's over 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 12 seconds into this video, and so far he said that South Park isn't that good, but he still likes it. It's amazing this guy's ability to talk, and at the end of it, not have anything he actually said, but also he said everything. The crazy thing about Tim Pool is he's good at implying things. So you watch his video at the end and you go, I think he wants a race war and to like purge the degenerates, but he will always be able to deny that. He would never admit that that's what he actually is saying.
Problem with this, my friends, Matt, Trey, please hear me.
They are not your friends.
Want you to make fun of Donald Trump.
Just like you do, Tim. Just like you do all the time. That's my favorite thing, where he won't ever actually insult Trump in any way, but he'll, if pressed on it. Because again, Tim's number one thing is YouTube views and just being full of shit. Just absolute bullshit. Beyond lying, it's not lying. Lying requires taking a concrete opinion on something. What Tim Pool is all about is just flooding the zone so nothing matters and no point has actually been made. So he will never actually insult Donald Trump, but if pressed on it, he will go like, well, no, I have criticisms of Donald Trump. He talks too much. You know, it's the same way as he'll go like, I'm not a Republican. I could criticize the Republican Party. When have you ever done that? Well, I've said some of them weren't nice enough to Trump. Yeah.
But you have to make fun of Donald Trump in a way that actually makes fun of him. So here's what I think.
I don't know. But the point is, he obviously is full of shit and nothing he says matters. But if they were to come out and be like, oh, Donald Trump's immigration policy sure is bad, and it is bad. It's terrible. He's a Nazi freak. But that wouldn't really bother him because Donald Trump doesn't care about that. It will bother him to just be like, he's got a tiny ass little dick. That's funnier. That's actually funny. He doesn't get it.
CBS nukes Colbert. They were losing $40 to $50 million per year on this.
That's what they were saying, because they canceled the Stephen Colbert show, which apparently was something that still existed. I don't know anyone watches it. You know, I want to be up in arms. I don't like that the president can just get shows canceled, but I'm also like, late night TV's dying. Who cares? Exactly. But they claimed they were losing $40 to $50 million. I just find that hard to believe. But on the other hand, some of these people have wild salaries. Like, it's not impossible that Colbert alone, just his salary was over $50 million. I could probably look that up and verify it. Not going to.
Why would they have Colbert up and running at a loss of $40 million a year? Well, I think it was political.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically saying we want to pay for messaging. If you were a political elite, let me phrase it like this. If you're rich, what do you want for? When you've got, let's just do some math, right? Let me do some hard math. Let's say,
what if he goes, let me do some hard math. So 4 plus 5, what's that? This is amazing cope. Some of the most beautiful cope we've ever seen. We have not seen copium this pure since the Chinese copium dens of the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's say you have 20 million.
Does he have a calculator? He has an abacus. He just brings up. Yeah, he's great at math.
Savings. What's your general interest per year?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, based on the numbers, right? $20 million, rough breakdown of annual interest rates. It's calculating it for me. You're making at least $100,000 on a basic savings. If you're doing a high yield savings,
I'm realizing now, by the way, he was just asking ChatGPT. That's what he does.
20 million is sitting there. It's 400,000. If you're doing bonds and ETFs, you can be making $1 million per year.
Again, he has to fill up 20 minutes. So he's just going to ramble. But let me cut to what he's actually trying to say here, which obviously is nonsense. The cope that he's saying, and all of these guys always come out with the exact same spin on this stuff. Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, Dave Rubin, all these guys, often the exact same words. There literally must be like a text chain where their Russian handler tells them what they need to say. But what he is claiming is that Paramount, he's going, oh, so you think Paramount canceled Stephen Colbert because he made Trump angry? You ever think that maybe we paid for the show to make Trump look bad? Why did you cancel it then? We don't need to answer questions at this time. It's just a nonsense, silly thing to be saying. Like, what? But it also reinforces this bubble, which is that no one can actually have a criticism of Donald Trump. That's not something they believe a human can actually come to. So it always has to be this vague conspiracy with no actual evidence. And then we just ramble for 5 minutes about interest rates that he's probably wrong about. He's probably doing the math wrong. Like, it's nonsense. And the cope of all these losers, like there was that cartoon made about it, is that Trey Parker and Matt Stone were like, we don't want to make fun of Donald Trump, dude. We're like punk rock skateboarders. We like don't care about that. And they're like, what if we gave you $1.5 billion to do it? And they were like, whoa, okay, we better do it for that money and go that hard on it. It got choppy for you too. The stream is getting choppy again. I don't know why that is. Oh, wait. I did just drop some frames here. 0.4 frames. I'm at CPU's 14.4. Is it still choppy? Is it any better now? Nah, I don't care. Deal with it. I don't have good internet. So the cope that all of these people are saying is that Trey Parker and Matt Stone were paid off to insult Donald Trump, which would be very funny if they got $1.5 billion and they're like, I don't know, he's got a tiny dick or something. Anyway, let's buy an island.
And if you're doing a balanced investment portfolio, just having 20 million, you're going to get 1.6 million per year. If you're doing aggressive.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead a little bit here.
Break into Mr. Garrison's house, and he's just sitting there watching White Lotus, and they're like, wait a minute, you're not Trump? Because now it's actual Trump, which is funny considering the $1.5 billion deal. But all they do is...
Just call it Yossarian?
You can see
sure,
the
image
right on the screen. Is they have Donald Trump banging Satan. He's a one-for-one copy of Saddam Hussein.
He is not. That's not true. Let's go ahead to the end a little bit. So he manages to get almost 20 minutes out of this. Good for him. That probably is better. Drop the Andrews cleaner. On the other hand, that would require typing things in various boxes, and I'm very lazy.
Own life. The argument being the anti-woke personalities have nothing to live for anymore.
We got into here. Is he now reviewing The Leftovers or something? What's happening?
It's just so lazy. I feel like Matt and Trey don't actually pay attention to anything anymore. I mean, you're old, you're ultra rich. Why would you? And so
you're right, actually. I would only need to press the backspace button. Like, whatever. Like 9 times, which I could do.
They're getting their news skimmed off The Daily Show or something. That's what everybody's doing. They're so checked out.
I do like his implication where he's like, they're just getting their news from like Daily Show. They don't know the real news, okay? They don't know the real news that all my viewers know. For example, do you know all fires are actually started by ghosts?
And the problem is they're doing this to try and quash people like us that pay attention to the news. And
it's literally saying, people like us, we pay attention to the news. I read upwards of 4 headlines a day, and I will then say that all of these publications are fake and gay. But, whatever. Nothing needs to matter or, have any actual coherence.
Aren't swayed by these fake. Like, you can't make fun of Trump for something that isn't Trump. Like, if Trump came out and was like, look, I've got polka dot pants, I'd be like, I don't get it. Like, that's what they do.
So, I mean... How do you know Donald Trump doesn't have a tiny dick, man? Yeah, he does. He does not. He barely even reads the first 2 paragraphs, and then he immediately forgets it. He'll contradict himself all the time. What's crazy about Tim Pool is that he is wildly uneducated about everything, and that's fine. You don't need to be educated, but he claims he was. Yes, he just moves on and skips over any part of an article that ignores, because his point is not to get news out to you. His point is to produce bullshit for 20 minutes. That's all it needs. Now, he's claiming that Donald Trump doesn't have a tiny dick. How do you know that? Stormy Daniels, the pornographic film actress who said his penis resembled, I think, Toadstool from Mario Kart, if I remember correctly, which was very funny. She didn't say he had, like, no dick, but she said it was, like, not a terribly impressive dick.
So they have like,
but more importantly, Donald Trump has crazy tiny ass dick energy. He could have a big fucking hog down there. All he does all day is bitch and moan about who crossed him, and I haven't gotten what I deserved, and I deserve so much more, and it's all everybody else's fault. He's got little ass dick energy. That's what they're mocking here.
Like a CGI or AI scene of Donald Trump crawling naked through the desert with a tiny penis. I just don't get it.
Americans eat too much sugar. I mean, gosh, we're sweet, aren't we? Always. That is literally what it is. That is him just going like, listen, you might say that I have bad grades, but if you actually look at my report card that we see right here, and he's just making this up as he goes along. He has not seen the report card. He's just going to riff on it when he gets there. So as you can see right here in chemistry, in fact, I got a D, but actually that D could stand for dynamite, which means that I'm actually doing really well. Okay. Also, that scene wasn't AI, that South Park scene where Trump was crawling in the desert. I thought it was AI. Turns out it actually was a real thing they shot. I looked it up. I saw behind the scenes videos, photos, whatever it was. And Trey Parker's finger was playing Donald Trump's penis, which is very funny.
Like, it sounds more like you're trying to insult Trump than you are trying to make fun. Like, it seems like a lot of the episode was a direct message to Trump. Like he said, hey, Trump, look, we're insulting you. And
got him.
Trump's not even gonna see it. And then the regular
Trump 100% saw it. Absolutely saw it. Do you think Trump doesn't do any president stuff all day? He doesn't like do briefings. He doesn't read. He doesn't care.
other people are watching it. I don't understand why that does anything. If you're concerned about illegal immigration and deportations, why did they literally show? I'm not kidding, guys. They showed Donald Trump buck naked in the desert, full frontal. What? It's so terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that impression.
When you're rich,
I think it's a combination of people actually running the country. Stephen Miller being one of them. It was Elon Musk for a while. Then they kicked him out because he was just genuinely personally unpleasant to be around, which I like. But the whole Tim Pool thing here is he has to be a defender of Trump. He knows his audience has to hear a defense of Trump. They need to hear it, but he can't be like uncool. And this is why I think the South Park thing gets him, because South Park remains cool and like edgy and counterculture and all that kind of stuff. In a weird sort of way, it really does. And so consequently, he has to be like, you know, I'm not like mad at South Park, just disappointed. You know, I'm not like, it's his way of always having his cake and eating it too. And just being what many would call a little bald bitch. So maybe suck it, Tim. I don't know. Schizo Rabbit Hole, who's running the DHS accounts? Good question. We don't know. All right, guys, what if I take a little break and use the restroom, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the one, the only, Patrick David. Okay, we're right back. Yo, what's up, hip cats and kittens? How we doing out there? I need to get a haircut. My hair doesn't look good right now. Get a beard trim too while I'm at it. I go to a place. You know what? I'm going to shout them out. Pete's Barbershop here in Chicago, Illinois. That's where I go to. Can't, in my head, I'm like, could they dox me somehow? Could they show up at Pete's Barbershop while I'm getting a haircut? Come on by. I'll let you know. Hang out. You show up. They have a refrigerator full of Miller High Life. I am Chicago-based, Duke Vulture. Where are you based? I'm based in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Whoa, baby, don't you want to go? Come on, baby, don't you want to go? Come on, baby, don't you want to go? Same old place now. How's it go? Sweet home. What'd you guys do last time you were in Chicago? Met up with Dave from the RM Discord. Let me know next time you're in Chicago. Let me know anytime next time's in Chicago. I'll fucking go hang out with you guys, dude. I don't care. I literally don't give a shit. You guys are all my best friends. I love you. Do not. Dave would like you. Maybe he would watch if you're less racist. What? I was about to ask what MagicCon is, then I realized I can just look it up, and that's content. I'm on my own restream right now. MagicCon Chicago. Chicago. So 2026, here's what it is. Announcing the MagicCon. Oh, my holy Lord in heaven. It was a Magic the Gathering. I wish they did tricks with scarves. You're thinking of Steven Tyler Con. That's a different convention. Get ready to gather. Ready your decks and mark your calendar. The 2026 MagicCon schedule. It's in Europe in... Okay. Well, first off, it's actually in Las Vegas, May 1st through the 3rd in 2026. And then it's in Atlanta. So actually, of the three, two of them are in America. Only one is in Europe. So in fact, you've exposed your ignorance. And now who is the real magic head, as we call ourselves? No, Chicago is surprising and also disappointing. MagicCon Chicago. So it was at McCormick Place, Lakeside Center, which I have been to before. They cut Chicago for... Oh, I see. So they would always do three, but they're doing one in Europe instead. It was LA, Chicago, and Atlanta this year. Okay, featuring Dungeons and Dragons. So you're a big Magic player. You get your mana up. You turn your card, and you're like, my Black Lotus is attacking your White Lotus, or whatever it is. I've been to McCormick Place many times. It's a lovely, lovely place right there. This was not for MagicCon, but many years ago, I'm a big mana enjoyer. That's my favorite part, just collecting the mana. I love doing it. Many years ago, this was like over 10 years ago at this point, probably like 15 years ago. There was some convention happening, and I literally don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything cool or interesting, but I had a temp job, which was just setting up the convention at the McCormick Place. So that was a pretty fun day. Got it done in like a half day, and then I just walked by the lake. Listen, why are we messing around, ladies and gentlemen? Enough of this magic nonsense.
You ask for 5 days a week. We cannot go 5 days a week, but effective August 11, we're going 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we did this intentionally because Adam is not available on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So Adam will only be doing the podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're not doing the podcast on Tuesdays. So I'm out. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Wait, what? That's very confusing. I like how he starts this announcement about how they're doing more podcasts by him not giving people what they want.
You ask for 5 days a week. We cannot go 5 days a week, but if
you ask for, so just to clarify, first off, you're not going to get what you want. Broke, teaching sad to think, woke, torturing sand in the fires of hell to make glass. Oh, yeah, you're a big glass blower kind of thing. You're a big, let me tell you something. I'm also into glass blowing. Ira glass blowing. This American life, this American throat. Okay? If you guys do not know who Patrick Bet David is, first thing you need to understand is that he is not Israeli. That will confuse the bejesus out of you. Because this man has crazy Israeli vibes. to be honest with you. Just the name Bet David, okay? He has a theme song for his popular YouTube radio program where he does, of course, say, why would you bet on Goliath when you got Bet David? Valuetainment is the name of his channel. That's not the song. It's me talking about it. He came onto the scene just a couple of years back. He started as a multi-level marketing guru. He ran a company of some nature. I don't know what it is. He would claim they sold insurance. What they actually would do is sell some kind of insurance license to people. The thing about Patrick Bet-David is that he truly is a vile human being. And I know a lot of people who follow these right-wing grifters and love to talk about them will say that Patrick Bet-David is one of the better ones. They'll say, I like him more. And to some degree, I get that. Because on one level, he does seem more like a normal guy. You can imagine him just being kind of a suburban dad, just being like, oh, we can't do socialism. And also, another thing to note, if you do an impression of him, it will be the most racist thing you have ever heard in your life. You can't. That's how he talks. I'm sorry. I have love in my heart for all people. All right? No matter, the melanin situation. But his voice just sounds like someone doing a racist caricature. Yeah, he in some ways is a normal, nice guy. But I think he is in other ways the most predatory. Because let's look at someone like Tim Pool. As disgusting as Tim Pool is, he's selling fake news. He's selling right-wing fantasies. Patrick Bet-David does all that too. But through his multi-level marketing, he's preying on some of the most vulnerable people in society, namely the incredibly stupid. The very, very stupid amongst us who are like, I just got to get my hustle on, man. I'm going to sell insurance. Think of how many awkward conversations with old high school friends Patrick Bet-David's responsible for. He does a big vault conference and, you talk your elderly senile mother into getting a second mortgage on the house so that you can pay for it and go to the cigar party. And his business consulting is just like, what you must do is you must get out and hustle and work. A lot of people don't know their next 5 move, but next 5 move is good. Anyway, Martha Stewart. We bring out Martha Stewart, who doesn't know where she is. She took a private plane. She's like, that's why you got to do more push-ups. Who knows what these people are saying? And so then this loser man at this conference goes, I'm on it. All I got to do is give Patrick Bet-David $5,000. Then I get, I can now sell insurance. I got to call my friend Tom. That's the name of someone on his show, so that doesn't work. I got to call my friend Billy. Doing the voice is screwing up my throat. Billy, Billy, what's up? Have you considered how insurance can, in fact, pay for your children and, in fact, get your hustle on? So that's Patrick Bet-David. And he then decided to kind of get into the business of right-wing media creation. Let's look at a lot of his content down here. Clinton subpoenaed an Epstein probe. Is this like live from Vegas or something, what they have in the background here? Look at this. Clinton subpoenaed an Epstein probe. This is how they're spinning the Epstein thing. Going like, there's an Epstein probe. Do you know Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton fucked kids. And everyone's like, yeah, we've known that for years. We totally, absolutely. Let's get to the good stuff. Namely, Trump's dick. I need to know if the South Park people were lying. Let's check this out here. Are they in Vegas here? Are we going to get to watch his theme song at the beginning? Oh, I sure hope so. I love his theme song. The PBD, the Paul B. David. 30 seconds. Did you ever think you would make it? By the way, a lot of people know this. Paul B. David, Michael B. Jordan. Brothers. I feel I'm supposed I could take sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Okay, so this is in Vegas, yes. So we're not... The point, anyone who looks at this face and goes, yeah, I trust him. I trust this man. You should be in a home. You should be on assisted living. That's Vinny Oshana, who I think might have the highest blood pressure any human being has ever had. But the interesting thing about Vinny Oshana right here, this guy, he might be the only one who actually believes anything. Because recently, Vinny is at any given moment Just it's some episode of the PBD podcast is going to end like Scanners, and Vinny's head is just going to. He just gets so mad about everything. And I used to think it was performative because, like all of these losers, he wanted to have a show business career. You can find videos of him doing stand up. He's really bad at it. He might be the only right winger who's worse at stand up than Dave Rubin, which is really saying something. But recently, he's been kind of going off book a little bit and talking about Epstein and actually being like, I kind of don't like that Donald Trump clearly fucked kids. And everyone else is like, oh, shut the fuck up. It's actually cool. Yeah, I think Vinny is a true believer. I thought he was a grifter. I think he actually believes this stuff, which I find very endearing. The way he sort of has his hair pulled back like that is also not helping with his blood pressure, I'm sure. Oh, here's my favorite. We somehow ended up in a Puff Daddy video. Will it show me Tom again? That's Adam, and that's Tom, who dyes his hair but not his beard for some reason, which I like. That's Adam Sosnick, who I think is the worst of them all. He started out basically kind of a normal guy who would just kind of be like, my main thing. He also has a terrible voice. All these guys have horrible voices. He's like, my main thing is like, I'm like a playboy in Miami, and I like enjoy it. I'm like having a lot of fun. They do all hate Adam. The viewership hates Adam. What's funny is every time there's a liberal like Sam Cedars on, like maybe like 20% of the comments will be like, this guy's gay and Jewish. I don't care. 80% of the comments will be like, Adam should kill himself. Adam should put a gun in his mouth. They hate him so much. And I'm not really sure exactly why, because he toes the party line with everything. He used to kind of be like a sort of basic normie lib where he'd be like, well, I just think Trump would be good for the economy and like you should work harder. And that's, why we need to get rid of welfare. Just like this stupid stuff. Nah, he's just full like MAGA now with everything. But for whatever reason, the audience hates him. And then Tom is this old man who seems a little confused, but he's the policy wonk. You bring him out and he's going to read some numbers at you, which is very funny. I like all the guests. Like we got Shaq and Tim Dillon. What? Las Vegas, baby.
God.
Why is he making that face? Did he just stub his toe on something? Patrick Bet-David, and listen, it is time where we body shame people. It is okay to body shame Republicans. Oh, are there conservative gays that consider Tom daddy? Well, that's what you don't know. He actually, it's not that he doesn't dye his goatee. He is naturally brown-haired, but that's all cum. That's why that. Patrick Bet-David has shared photos of himself when he was like 18 and he was in the military. He was in great shape. Dude used to be ripped as shit. Now he has got a big old dumper. He looks like absolute dog shit. Do not come. That was Kamala talking to the guy standing over Tom's face. Yes, he has terrible wrinkles in his face. I'm just really shitting on him. He looks horrible. And we can say it because he's a bad guy.
A lot is going on. You need to know, Vinny just got here. We're in Vegas. He went to,
He appears to have, and you kind of can't see this because things are covering it, but he looks like he has, maybe if I do the smaller here. He does appear to have 4 different beverages in front of him. He has like a Pierre water.
Dre's? Where were you at Dre's?
Yes.
Dragging Adam out of the club. Adam still hasn't slept. He's hammered. He smells like tequila.
Disgusting.
And vodka and a few.
They all genuinely hate Adam so much. And then Adam's just sitting there smiling. By the way, there are little things they have here that says, "Minect with me today." Love that. You're a multi-beverage guy too. That's disgusting. When I'm president, 1 beverage at a time. What are your 3 beverages you have right now? Let me guess. Shit, piss, cum. Am I correct? Shit, piss, and cum are your 3 beverages? I'm really helping myself in the algorithm with this. The Minect thing is a website they have set up, which is Cameo for right-wing grifters, where you can go on and pay, I believe it is no, it's not that much, but it's like $40,000 to do like a 30-minute Zoom call with Patrick Bet-David. But it's only like $500 to do one with Tom, which I could do. If the Patreon gets up to over $500, I will spend 1 month on doing a Connect call with Tom. Diet Coke, big, because that's literally the only soda that I had left at my 7-Eleven, and I get 1 free a day, Celsius Pink Lemonade, energy drink, and water. Big gulp. I was at 7-Eleven the other day, treating it like a restaurant, which you shouldn't do. And I saw they have the 7-Eleven subscription club where you get a free drink every single day. So you're in that. Well, good for you. So yes, they all hate him. Tom appears very, very nervous here. Adam is just having fun.
Well, the smells, we don't want to get into it.
But I got cough.
What you might not know is that Vinny actually is the least coked up of all of these people, which is really saying something.
I got coffee. I'm okay.
But he got his coffee. He got everybody here working for him, getting him coffee, tea, napkins, back rub.
Total diva.
The biggest
coffee.
diva that you got. But anyways, it's good to be with you.
And I drew the short straw.
Out of Vegas, a lot is going on. A lot.
I also like that Tom recently has been like, I'm kind of a funny guy too. I'm going to do jokes. You might think I'm just here because I know policy, but actually I'm hilarious.
A lot is going on. A lot is going on that we will be talking about. Just a few minutes ago, I think they just subpoenaed a bunch of people from Epstein. Clintons, Comey,
Slick Willie.
a bunch of people that we'll talk about.
That's literally true. I think not only does he not need cocaine, he produces cocaine. You just have, it looks like his hair is greased down. All of that is a natural grease that if you take it and process it, you get the finest Colombian powder, man. And also this is where they're going, like they're subpoenaing so many Democrats in the Epstein files. That is true. Vinny's heart, he cannot be killed. He's a reverse vampire in that he can only be killed without a stake to his heart. That's the only thing that won't kill him. A swift breeze will destroy him.
Here momentarily. Barry Weiss asked for $250 million for her.
Look at how that, do you see that leg shaking, the Patrick Bet David leg? That's true. It just rushes to his face. I'm so fucking mad because I'm on Piers Morgan and a 19-year-old blonde woman just said that maybe we shouldn't vote Republican. And I'm going to fucking kill her.
Media company. And Sagar from their show comes out, calls it out. And I got some thoughts on it. And I know Tom does as well on what's going on there. What is really
okay,
going
we're going to
on.
go to Clinton, subpoena, and Epstein. He was very close with the Epstein. That was very funny because there was an episode where this guy, Vinny, was going like, we got to know about the Epstein stuff. And then Patrick Bet David goes, Vinny. Here I have a diagram on emotions. He literally did this. It was like one of those fucking like pictures with all the different faces that said like, are you angry, sad, happy, or whatever? And he goes, how are you feeling right now, Vinny? You think maybe you control yourself and control your emotions. And Vinny, because like all Republicans, he doesn't have object permanence. That was Adam who threw a tampon at Anna Klansberry. That's what we're saying now. That is truly the most slicked back hair of all time. Yeah, because Anna Kasparian, I think, was like, listen, I'm grifting with you guys, but we shouldn't murder Palestinian children. He goes, you're being emotional, so you're probably on your period, bitch. Which is, by the way, a good move. And if Donald Trump had done that to Kamala Harris at the debate, he would have won legitimately.
Yeah. And we brought you up because, Pat, at the end of the day, you know why nothing's going to happen? Because, and why I'm questioning why Trump and all them are pushing this right now? Can we step back? Is Jeffrey Epstein the most important thing that happened to Trump? Let's rewind. Are we not going to do Russia? All these people, I mean, the Hillarys and the bar.
I'm shipping Anna and Vinny. Unironically, I would love to watch them have sex. What if Vinny, like right before he's about to do, he's like, I'm gonna fucking get that. And the moment she starts sucking his dick, he goes, okay, cool. Thanks, man. You know, I feel like maybe there's some, structural problems in both political parties. And I really feel that, if we could sort of reach a consensus, maybe we could, find something that benefits all Americans. I just came. Thank you. I just splooged at the thought. So did he. So this is what's interesting. First off, his heart is out to you here. But also, he was big into the Epstein thing. The only way to defeat that conspiracy in him was to give him another conspiracy. So they told him, this is actually the Epstein thing is actually covering up Russiagate. When they claimed that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, and then they arrested a bunch of people for that, but it wasn't real. That's what's crazy. Right-wingers will tell you that Russiagate was nothing, just because libs were into it. But no, it was very real.
It should be Russiagate first. It should be COVID. I know Fauci's got immunity, but bring everybody else in about COVID. That's important. There's a
I think he just says COVID broadly, not even like the vaccines were fake or COVID was fake. Or there was just the whole notion of COVID. Is it like we should arrest people for making COVID, arrest all the Chinese people? Who's going to fry our rice, Vinny? If we arrest all the Chinese people from COVID, the shrimp can't fry all the rice.
reason why this right now is taking precedent, and and I know why, because Trump was mentioned. Elon made the post PBD. Now we are where we are right now, and all this confusion because Elon started
You're
it.
saying now.
Yeah, this
you're
is
saying
slowing
now
down.
that you think Trump is tied to it.
Trump, in my opinion,
Patrick Bet-David, whenever they start talking about the Epstein stuff, he just sort of goes back and every now and then goes, Vinny, no, you go. No, you go. Do I have opinions? I don't. No.
with all the research, because remember, I'm such a diehard Trump fan, I had to change gears and go, okay, back up, think objectively. They're mentioning his name. Once Elon said it, and then all this, I'm going to release it. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. I don't need your support. I think he's listed in there. There's no list, but he's mentioned. Michael Wolff, like we talked about, PBD, says there's a whole different side of this guy that you don't know, and he has all this footage. I'm just saying, is this the most important? To me, it is.
Let me
with the
tell
kid.
you why.
So that was interesting and schizophrenic right there, because it's tough to be Vinny right now, because I think he believes that Donald Trump is God and he loves him and wants to kiss him, and also thinks he fucked kids. And it's normally very easy for him to have two thoughts that directly contradict each other in his brain at one time. But right now, it's hard because it's the only thing he cares about, which is stupid conspiracy theories as opposed to the actual ones that make sense. Like, why the thing about, I mean, I think he probably is on the list, Duke Vulture. The crazy thing about conspiracy theories is they make up the wildest nonsense, these conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, there's decades of shit the CIA have just admitted they did. You can find that. That's way cooler, you know? But all the conspiracy theories now have just basically boiled down to be like, there is an elite cabal of pedophile Jews, and their main thing is hurting Donald Trump's feelings. The main conspiracy theory is hurting his feelings. Do you think he has millions and millions of dollars? I don't know. I think Patrick Bet-David pays these guys like $60K a year to do this show. He pockets most of it. It's his name. He goes, excuse me, is this the Angry Patriot podcast or is this the PBD podcast? That's what I thought. Shut up.
You're not going to get accountability, and I'll be quick, because
He will not be quick.
you actually have moral framework.
Oh, Adam let it slip one time that he has millions of dollars. I think he owns a bunch of restaurants in Miami or something like that. So you could go there. Not saying what you should do there, but
Work, and you believe in things like justice and fairness and accountability. That's not how it works in government. Anytime that there's a big company that tries to get bailout, look at during COVID, the airlines, look at the big banks. Pat believes in
I got a
capitalism,
Facebook
freedom to buy,
notification.
freedom to sell, freedom to try,
Exciting stuff.
freedom to fail. The big banks will not fail. The airlines will not fail. Big government will not fail. No one will be held accountable.
I agree.
Because you don't allow them to fail.
I agree.
Once you put Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton,
What does that have to do with Jeffrey Epstein? At all. Casa di Adam. That's a good point. Casa di Mangelo. That is another very funny thing. That Patrick McDavid always mentions this restaurant, Casa D'Angelo. Just be like, so we go out to dinner. We have the dinner at Casa D'Angelo. We enjoy Casa D'Angelo. Like he has steak in it or something? What is going on? Yeah, what does this have to do with Jeffrey Epstein at all? This is the thing about all of these right-wing shows. Look at how very tired he looks in this frame. But it's like putting on one of those baby Einstein. Yeah, he does name drop it all the time. Oh, is that his restaurant? Is Casa D'Angelo Adam's restaurant? That would make a lot of sense. Oh, I didn't put that together before. But all of this stuff for conservatives, it's like a baby Einstein video for a 6-month-old, where there doesn't need to be coherence. It's just like sounds and lights. So it'll just be like Epstein, Clinton. Like they're putting too much work into it. I think eventually it will devolve into just kind of a light show so that the conservatives can look at it and just go like, oh, and every now and then it'll just go, President Autopin or something like that. Just whatever nonsense Trump tweeted that day, and they'll go, hey. So that's the PBD podcast. I do want to show you something I discovered when I was looking at the PBD channel earlier, which is pretty great. It's not that they have 2.68
You
million.
asked for 5 days a week. We cannot go 5 days a week. But
That just autoplays, which is very annoying. Is it? Let's look up Casa de Angelo. It's in Aventura, Florida, which is probably like a suburb of Miami. Experience the ultimate in Italian luxury and sophistication at Casa de Angelo's Aventura location, located in the heart of one of Miami's most vibrant and cost. I've gone down this rabbit hole before. Bro, you sound like turtles fucking. I also saw that episode of Ninja Turtles. What is this here? Potatoes or something? Truly an unforgettable dining experience. Okay. I kind of want to call them now and see who owns their stuff. Careers, gift cards, media, travel and leisure. What's their dress code? Your appearance can elevate or diminish the dining experience. In order to provide a refined atmosphere, we kindly request all guests to dress appropriately. We appreciate your cooperation in refraining from wearing shorts, flip-flop, tank tops, athletic wear, or baseball caps. Your understanding and cooperation is greatly appreciated. I just want to see how much it costs for a menu at this stuff. So let's see. The Aventura location presumably is the one they talk about it. Chef's Old Fashioned. What? I just want to... How much would it cost to get a dinner here? Antipasto. They're not putting prices on the menu, which I don't like. I want to know. Is it like $75? A business lunch? Oh, hell yes. Business lunch menu. So you can get soup of the day. It's antipasta. And you better not ever let that touch pasta, or that's going to destroy the universe. Caprese. An entree, a dessert. Okay, well, glad they're having fun. Oh, it's $32 for 3. That's not that much. That's honestly relatively affordable, you know? Yeah, it looks like their price is $32 for 3 courses. For a 3-course lunch, that's not terrible. You could do that. 11:30 to 4 p.m. I'm going to go in there at 3:57 p.m. As I was saying, the PBD podcast, here's something I discovered. So you go down. You have the For Me here. I don't know who Scott Storch is, but they'll interview various people here. Charleston White, who I thought was Cat Williams, but it's not. Here's episodes of the PBD podcast. So we see right here. Here are their shorts. Is the missing liberals will lose it if this peace deal, whatever. Why Adam thinks New York City and LA are losing their glory days. Absolutely. Why could all live in Miami? I spent $200 on food a month. That is lovely. I've spent $200 on food at one time. I bought people dinner, but don't worry about it. Popular videos. He does the Andrew Tate and the Tristan Tate and Suge Knight. Now, none of these can compete with Candace Owens, who recently interviewed Harvey Weinstein from jail. I don't know how he got a Zoom camera into the jail, but good for him. Eggs are probably, actually, okay, if you really got to eat cheap, and I'm getting distracted here, but your best bet for eating cheap, I think, I've done the math. I used to be very, very poor. When I was doing stand-up, I'd lived with some other comedians, one of whom is dead now, had a heart attack, which is funny because he was a fat alcoholic, and we used to joke that he was going to die of a heart attack, and then he did. But anyway, at one point, they figured out, they swore to me, mathematically, the best bet for your dollar, calorically, was stuffing. Get a box of stuffing. They pour ketchup in it. But get that stuffing. Eggs have got protein, though. Stuffing doesn't have any protein. A comedian right to the end. That was true. That was the final punchline. So stuffing is really, really good. Get cheap shit. Go to Aldi. This is what I talk about in terms of the money. Everyone's like, oh, I can't afford anything. And shit is too expensive. And some things should be decommodified and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what if you just weren't an idiot and didn't DoorDash shit? And also, you have the grocery stores there that are near or past expired. That works. You can also steal shit. Here's what you do. You take your own bag. You walk into the grocery store, as long as it has the self-service, and you put some stuff in your bag, and you don't, check everything when you're doing at the end. That's how you steal stuff. Anyway, here are the Valuetainment channels, which I found, which I thought were very, very funny. We have Valuetainment, which has almost 7 million subscribers right there. Valuetainment Comedy, which has less than 500,000. Not a lot of people watching the Valuetainment Comedy. That channel appears to mostly be Vinny doing sketches of some nature where it'll, like, you know, if we watch it, click on it here. Hurricane
Helene is set to make landfall tonight in Florida and the Tampa area. And guys, it's not looking good.
So I wonder what the joke is going to be here. But as you can see, it really is Vinny, Jeff Dye, Trans Funny, Hawaii on Fire. So he appeared. So he does have the Vincent Oshana show. It does not get very good views. Damn. Like 1.7. I've had videos that have gotten more than that. Damn. It's not very good. When your name is Epstein, life gets weird. Let's see what this joke is going to be for the Hurricane Helene.
105-mile-per-hour winds. And look at the name of the hurricane, Helene. Coincidentally, that's my ex-wife's name. Our divorce was finalized this week, and if this thing is anything like her, it's going to take your car, it's going to take your house, it's going to ruin your damn life. All right, probably both the neighbors too, but I digress.
You should send this to the Joke Explainer. Can I just say something? I've watched some of that Joke Explainer. I'm going to talk shit. Okay, it's time to talk shit, all right? This is where I start beefs on this channel, and that's how we get the drama, and that's how we get more views, okay? Got a very important text. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, I've watched some of those Joke Explainer videos before. He's kind of got one bit, okay? He'll watch comedy, a lot of which is bad, but he'll just stop and go, oh, okay, so the joke he just told was actually this, and that's pretty good. And then go back, like, I don't know. Do comedy. Don't just shit on comedy. Come on. Vincent Oshana worked hard. He set up a green screen for this.
On the air, but it's been a rough week. And guess what? If you're in this area, right here, the Tampa area, you're going to have a rough week as well. Okay, and by the way, another coincidence, her mom and dad, Helene's mom and dad are from Tampa. So, hey, John, Marge, you're going to feel it too. You're going to.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, not very. You're gonna kill me.
You ask for 5 days a week.
I do deserve
that.
that.
Go 5 days a week, but effective.
Sometimes I watch it just for the comedy. Like I wanted to see Howie Mandel's stand-up, which was truly the worst dog shit I've ever seen. The Joke Explainer broke it down. But anyway, that's Valuetainment Comedy. I don't know what the Unusual Suspects is here. This only has 109 subscribers, which is really not that many. Oh, so this is just like just AI slop. Okay, AI slop conspiracy channel with these two losers I've literally never even seen before. This video has 873 views. That's not that many. Listen, I love him. I'm glad he's your favorite. I'm just talking shit just to create drama to get more views. So, I mean, I have no beef with him. I'm glad people like it. I think it's fine. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. He's a pedophile or something. What does it take? I just want to get more views. So I will get beef with him if that gets me more views. Okay, so he's going to announce the thing again, which is never silent. You asked for 5 days a week. We couldn't do that. We refused to do that. The BizDoc podcast, which only has 63,000. I don't know who Brandon Aceto is. Here's where it gets fun. Look at this next one. This next one right here. Valuetainment short clips. Valuetainment Russian. There is a Valuetainment Russian channel. Makes you wonder some stuff. Is it just them dubbed into Russian? What if the guy who does Vinny's voice is just really chill in the Russian dub? Yes, this does appear to be dubbed into Russian.
За всю свою жизнь. Сколько же? Давайте я объясню, что я имею в виду. Допустим, вам 28 лет, и за прошлый год вы заработали 73 тысячи долларов. Свой
I just have to say, I love the Joke Explainer, but Brian is a real bummer, and Miles only keeps him around for sex appeal. That's what I've long said. So this is, what? I can't read this. This is probably some anti-Ukraine thing. I don't know who this guy is. This is all 3 years ago. So the Valuetainment Russia thing has been around for a while. This is 7 years ago. Okay. Love the pause at the beginning as he looks up. Look at how much this guy's aged in 7 years. He looked like shit back then, and now his head's real puffy.
Эй. Тут только ты и я. И больше никого. Не переживай, твои секреты останутся между нами. Ответь мне честно. Ты действительно веришь, что твои мечты станут реальностью с такими дурными привычками? Серьезно? Ты правда надеешься осуществить...
So on. So yeah, he has a Russian channel. And now that I've watched these videos, I'm sure I'm going to get recommended stuff in Russian. So that is all you need to know about,
You
in
asked
fact,
for 5 days a week. We cannot go 5
PBD.
days a week, but effective August 11, we're going 3 days.
I love that he can't go 5 days a week. Is PBD part of the Russian collusion hoax? I think he definitely is. I think, in fact, he is solely responsible. Is Patrick Bet David Robert Mueller? I've never seen him in the same room. I'm going to get the hell out of here, guys. I got to go make some dinner. I got to pan fry some, gosh darn, chicken stock. I'm trying to say not chicken stock. Some chicken thighs. I've got those. You got to brine them for like overnight, and then you marinate them during the day, and they're damn good. So I'm going to make those with some tater tots, and then afterwards, fucking put a gun in my mouth. JK, love you all. Okay, bye guys. I'll do another one.